why is your photo blurry? Well, today I'm answering this question. This is Quick Camera Queries, the series where I answer your tech and camera questions. If you want to submit a query, be sure to put it down in the comments below and we will shout you out if we choose your question. But to get back to today's query, why is my photo blurry? Well, there are three main different types of blur. Well, the third one isn't technically blur, but we'll get to that. The first one is focus blur. This is when the camera is not correctly focused on what you want it to be focused on, and therefore it appears blurry. Just like the background is blurry right now, if I duck out of the frame, allowing the camera to focus on the background, and then I pop back up, you might see that I am blurry for a split second before the camera has time to focus on me correctly. How do you fix this? Well, if your camera is in autofocus, you might need to change the autofocus mode. Perhaps from point AF to face or eye detection, or perhaps zone AF, which will just allow the camera to choose what to focus on for you. If you are in manual focus, where you actually have to turn the focus ring on the lens in order to focus, well then you're just going to have to find a way to get more accurate at focusing, whether that's enabling focus peaking in your cameras, or just practicing different pulls. The second type of blur in a photo is motion blur. This happens when your shutter speed is too low, letting in too much light, making the photo blurry. If you don't know what shutter speed is, be sure to check out our video on the exposure triangle, which will give you a better sense of that, which will explain that as well as the motion blur for you. So how do you fix motion blur in an image? Well, just like with out of focus blur, you can't fix it after the fact. However, you can prevent it in the future by paying better attention to your shutter speed and making sure that it is fast enough for what you are shooting. The third type of blur, as I mentioned, isn't technically blur. This is grain in the image that causes the photo to have less definition or maybe look slightly out of focus or blurry. This is grain in the image that reduces the definition in the photo, making it look slightly out of focus or blurry. This is caused by your camera's ISO, the digital amplification it applies to the signal that it receives, which brightens the image but can also introduce noise, digital noise, which is, as I said, that little grain in the image. How do you fix this? Well, just like with shutter speed, you're going to have to pay better attention to your ISO and what you set it to so that you don't have this problem in the future. However, if you have a photo that has lots of digital noise, you might be able to do some clever sharpening and noise reduction in order to fix it.